What's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you for an ML Sports Take, and it's brought to you by Tiny Bubbles Laundromat, Stanley Law Offices, and our great friends at Welch and Company Jewelers. What a game. St. Bonaventure wins 52-51. Again, deep breath, try to unpack this thing. What an unbelievable game in a different way. It was a nail-biter back and forth. The first thing I think that we have to look at is in the beginning of the game, and I'm going to kind of try to do my best here because I find it harder to recap really, really tough defensive battles. This felt like a baseball game, like an extra innings, 15-12 type marathon with 100 guys used out of the bullpen. Bonaventure matched from the start the intensity of the crowd and Virginia, matched them with defense, matched them with the hustle, rebounds, and all the rest right out of the chute. And if you go back and watch the beginning of this game, okay, Bonaventure won the tap, and Kyle Lofton went back to get the ball, and he kind of spun around a little bit and then grabbed it and kind of like had a couple of jump steps to go up the floor. And I said to myself, they're winning this game, because that right there, you could just see it in his eye, in his face, and his eyes as the game was going on. You could see it in his jump step and his body language at the beginning. We ain't losing this game, and I'm not going to let this team lose the game. We'll get to him late in the game, right, in a second. But I thought it was a big deal there, the way the Bonnies came out. First things first, obviously, we knew this was going to be a tough game, an offensive game in the 50s. No surprise there. Virginia is so suffocating on defense that what happens is, and I saw a few people tweet this, the commentator said that Bonaventure had to claw back down 5. Yeah, because that's what it's like against Virginia. That's a classic fan take and a fan tweet. It's the reason they're saying that is because when you play Virginia, okay, and I followed this program very tightly the last 5 to 7 years. When you play Virginia and they have this kind of a defensive team, they don't have, Ty Jerome, Kyle Guy, Hunter, those guys who won a title back in 2019. But this is a very, very good defensive team. They are sound, they're physical, they guard you right to here every single time out. And listen, when you're down 3, it feels like 5 or 6. When you're down 5, it feels like 8 to 10. When you're down 10, it feels like 20, okay? I'm telling you, that's how it feels. And that's what they meant by claw back. The Bonnies played their usual 6 guys, Coulibaly off the bench, 10 points each for Oshun, Jaron Holmes, Dominic Welch, 9 for Attaway, 9 for Kyle Lofton. They only made 3 3-pointers out of 15 attempts, but the Bonnies played, again, mano-a-mano with this Cavalier team. They were only 1 short of Virginia on the rebounding side. It was 35-34 advantage Virginia. Bonaventure had 5 blocks. Bonaventure, I thought, really hung in there in the first half. Coulibaly, I thought you could argue, was the best player on the floor in that first half. I know he didn't score a lot, but who the hell did? But he was fantastic with his defense and his rebounding, the hustle, the placement, all that sort of thing. Thought the refs overall tonight were actually really, really good again. I think these NIT refs in all 3 games, Colorado, Oklahoma, and now Virginia, Power 5, Power 5, Power 5, football, 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 money, money, money. Facilities, facilities, facilities. I can go on and on, right? The Bonnies basically, I don't think they were the benefit of any calls. I thought that Oshun's first screen he set, he was fine because he stood his ground. He was there. I didn't see any shifting. I didn't see any, moving in. I didn't see the side thing. I didn't see any elbows dropped or shoulders dropped. But the second one for sure was an offensive foul, the screen there late in the game. Let's kind of go through a little bit of the play-by-play, runs and some things that happened in this game that were crucial. Before I do that, here on this recap brought to you by Burn Dairy and Camillus Golf Club, you've got Virginia here. Hunter, I remember as being the X Factor a few years ago. I mean, look, that guy might be Gardner. It might be Franklin. Either way, those guys combined for 31 points. They were fantastic, but nobody else did anything. This Virginia team is so brutal offensively, and you saw them chucking up 3-pointers in the beginning of the game, and I'm going, thank you. Keep going. You're doing us a favor. You guys can't shoot from the 3, whether you're wide open or you're guarded. Eventually, they knocked a few down, but again, 5 of 19. That's not going to hurt you. If you're in a defensive battle, if you let in 7 or 8, probably lose the game. But here, St. Bonaventure only made 3. They only gave up 5. So that's an important thing. But look, I give credit where credit's due with Franklin and Gardner. Those guys were terrific, especially late in the game in stretches. Let's go through here a little bit of kind of just the play-by-play of the game. And I got to tell you, this game was 2-0, 1847. Trading some baskets back and forth. Welch had that sweet dunk. That was a sick dunk on the break. The assist from Lofton. Franklin makes the 3. And then, and then Gardner makes the jumper. And it's 6-5. And guess what? We didn't see another basket. That was at 17:27. We didn't see a basket until 16:05. Oshun with a 2-point tip shot. Jalen Gardner makes a jumper. And then, again, trading of baskets. You knew it was going to be a slugfest, a backyard brawl type of a thing. I thought one of the huge baskets in this game, when the Bonnies were down 11-8, and Holmes missed the layup, and Coulibaly got the offensive rebound, and they reset and went back into Coulibaly. He makes the jump shot. I thought that was a huge bucket, because even at 3 points that early in the game, what I said earlier about the whole, you're down 3 feels like 5, 5, 6 feels like 10, 10 feels like 15. This was a huge basket, stopped the bleeding a little bit. And then you go down the line here, and it was just ugly basketball the rest of the half. I mean, it was back and forth. The Oshun layup, Kyle Lofton makes a layup. Kyle Lofton makes a free throw. Gardner makes a jumper. Holmes makes a layup. Lofton makes a jumper. Cafaro makes a layup. The Bonnies are up 21-17 in this game. After the Bonnies had a great, I thought, defensive possession, Lofton got the rebound. You fast forward to the second half, and Virginia's crowd started to really get into it, and I was getting nervous. And the reason I was getting nervous was because of 2 things. One, Virginia's defense was continuing to just be absolutely suffocating. And number 2, Virginia on the offensive glass, they were creating a ton of extra chance points. I don't know why that just went off. Ton of extra chance points. And, they were converting on some of those. That was when, Franklin and Gardner, they were making a few. That sounds like a pretty good law firm, doesn't it? Franklin and Gardner. They were making 3-pointers off the jump. They were cutting. They were doing their things. They were doing alley-oops. They got a couple of easy dunks. But Bonaventure in the second half, there were a couple of key points where I thought St. Bonnie really, 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 hit a home run. If you go back to when Virginia was up 32-27, Welch made a layup, and then Shedrick comes back and gets a bucket. It's a 5-point game. You're like, oh, here we. But then Holmes got the dunk and the pass from Lofton, and then Virginia answered again. And then it was Coulibaly with the made jumper. And at 36-33, I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit better with 3 points. But then Cafaro scores, and it's 5 points. And I'm like, are the Bonnies just going to do this the rest of the game? Like, be down 3, then 5, 3, then 5, 3, then 5. And because Virginia is so good defensively, can't get the ball into the basket, because that's what Virginia does. They suffocate you on defense. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought Bonaventure was equal and up to the task, to Virginia. I mean, their defense was spectacular, especially the last play of the game. We'll get to that in a second. But again, trading of baskets back and forth. Welch hit a huge 3-pointer over 7 minutes. If you remember that made it 40-40. And then the Bonnies were starting to go. Lofton makes a jumper. Attaway later makes another 3-pointer, right? A couple of baskets here and there traded back and forth with Virginia scored a couple baskets, free throws made by Holmes, and it just kept kind of going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And when Holmes made those free throws, they were still down 3. And I'm still going, holy shit, at 3 points feels like 6-10 right now because of how Virginia plays. That's just how it goes. And the clock just goes and goes and goes and goes in a game like this. But then it was, fouls and turnovers and, again, the Oshun screen and all these different things that happen. And then, Franklin makes the free throw. He misses the other one. That was a huge miss with 30 seconds to go. Holmes had a tremendous defensive rebound. Welch makes the 3-point shot possibly of the year, where he goes up and he's kind of off balance. He did the little pop fake, and he goes up in the air, and he's kind of like a little, like a Frogger. Remember that arcade game? And he kind of does one of these with his legs out, and he nails the 3-point shot. One of the great 3-point shots of the entire Bonaventure season for sure. And he goes for it, and they're down now 1, and you're starting to go, okay, Like, this is where we want to be, right? I mean, let's be honest. Gardner misses the free throw on the 1-and-1. Holmes gets the rebound, and all of a sudden, 51-50. And, you know, obviously, the ball going off the foot of Virginia was the right call late in that game on that possession. The Bonnies inbound, and I was texting with my guy Skip Connors, you know, and I said, what do you draw up here? And he was like, go to the basket. And you know, of course, because Skip's basketball mind is so great, I was thinking exactly the same thing. You know, go to the basket. I was hoping that it would be Lofton taking it to the tin, or if they could inbound the ball and just quick pass, and get Holmes the ball or Attaway, guys who can get to the rim quickly, and they're controlled, and they're also strong, you know, physically, where they can kind of take the body, draw the foul a little bit there. But it was Lofton's show, and I think Kyle Lofton really is hungry. Remember, they're going to New York City. They're playing at Madison Square Garden next week in the NIT Final Four. He's a Newark kid. He's from New Jersey. He knows what the Mecca is. It's not, you know, whatever, 50 minutes from his house, he said. I got news for you. Kyle Lofton wants this thing so bad. And he talked about it in the postgame on ESPN. He missed free throws against St. Louis, redeemed himself tonight. He said, I told my teammates it's not going to happen again. Well, guess what? He went to the free throw line with 5 seconds to go. Bang, bang. Like it was nothing. Like it was outside with nobody around you in your backyard. Basketball hoop, and you bang 2 free throws to go to the NIT Final Four. And listen, this season, we've talked about it a million times. Disappointment, not getting to the NCAA tournament. If they win this NIT, it's going to be a salvaging of the season. There's no question about it. I mean, the teams they're beating, the Power Fives, the miles they've traveled, the short turnarounds. I mean, this team's traveled over 5,000 miles already. It will be a salvage of the season, no question. Now, even as NIT champs, would you trade it for an NCAA berth, even if it's a first-round loss? Probably, right? But I think that gap is a little bit closed here, you know, a little bit closer, I should say. You know, and then Kyle Lofton makes the free throws, and then Virginia takes the ball down the floor, and Lofton gets a little bit beat, but then he kind of catches up, and he's running after, and all I thought about, I swear to you, every single one of you, I swear to you, I said the big guy is down low. If you're beat by a couple of feet, he's going to do exactly what I said in my video earlier today. He's going to slide and glide, the footwork, the placement, the experience, his ability to block shots, and he's going to alter it or he's going to block it. And he swatted out of bounds as the clock hit 0. Amazing play. Great win. I'm so proud. And I want to make a quick note for a few of the people on these alumni pages who have gotten just completely off the rails. I never disparage this program, okay? And if you're listening to this, you know who you are. I never disparage this program. I never, ever, ever stated that this team would not come out in the NIT. All I did was I simply brought up the question because you don't know. It can go either way. And if you have a bone to pick with me, then you have a bone to pick with Kevin Connors, who I've had on shows a ton. Big college basketball guy, huge Bills fan, went to Ithaca, great dude. He said it on the post game, okay? He said it. He said, you don't know how the NIT works. You don't know how teams are going to come out. You just don't know. No difference between Kevin Connors and Mike Lindsley. We said the same exact thing. I'm not in this for clickbaits, okay? I'm in this to bring up great conversation, to have awesome dialogue with different people and alum. I love my school and I love the program. So don't ever question that. And you know who you are. There's a few of you out there who did this, and you're wrong to do that. That's not me. That's not what I do. And if you want proof, go talk to professors. Go talk to students who I'm trying to get internships for right now. You know, go talk to the journalism class who a couple of weeks ago, whatever it was, a month ago, that I went and talked to for an hour and bought pizzas for. Give me a break. Give me a break. What a win. What a great win. They have proved so much to me in this NIT. I hope they can get 2 more, because I think winning this whole thing would be just awesome, to be able to raise a banner in the RC when you thought there was no way. Tremendous win, tremendous guts from every guy on the roster. Thanks for watching. I'm Mike Lindsley. 52-51, St. Bonnie's heading to New York City in the Mecca of basketball. Cheers to the Bonnies. This video is brought to you by our great friends at Camilla's Golf Club, your State Farm agent, Matt Graham, Elevate Fitness of Syracuse, and Rosie's Corner. Let's go Bonnies, as I always tell you. Enjoy the games.